Hey everyone, this is Logan with CigarFederation.com. We're here, finally, the Throwdown chat with Viaje and Cigar Dojo. So I've got two very special guests with us that are obviously very involved with this project. First, let's throw it to Master Sensei from Cigar Dojo. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Logan. I'm super excited to be here, brother. I got my throwdowns ready to go. So I'm gonna fire up a Dojo Nation here on the show. But thank you for having us, and I couldn't be more excited about tomorrow because it's gonna be an incredible day. I always love these releases, and tomorrow is gonna be stellar, man. I'm super pumped. I'm jazzed. I've been training. I've been doing a lot of jumping jacks. I ran up some stairs a couple times. I'm ready to throw down, brother.
You ready to throw down? Let me just ask you, all seriousness, are you ready to step in the ring with this heavyweight? Since you are a featherweight, are you ready? You ready for this?
That's a great question because the weight difference is dramatic, but
it is.
But I think I've got some, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu ready for you. I think I can compete, but let me tell you, I've smoked both of our cigars several times, and there's no doubt this is going to be a tough battle because, Logan, you picked a fantastic blend, and yesterday I had another one, and every day I smoke it, it gets better. So kudos to you. So I know I have my work cut out for me, brother.
Well, I would agree. And with your cigar, I would also agree that yours is very good, but yours is definitely for, it's very unique in the fact some of the flavors, and I'll let you talk about it because I don't want to ruin the surprise, because what you said to me the other day in texting, you're like, it kind of has this XYZ in it, and I was like, dude, you're totally right. Like, that's really what it is. So I think both blends are really, really good. I think everyone will enjoy it. But without further ado, the man that made all this happen, mastermind behind Viaje Cigars, Andre Farkas. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm feeling fit.
Dude, you are feeling thin. You're looking good, man. Like,
Fight!
so you're looking kind of gangster too, man, with a white T-shirt.
Can you see me? I look very dark, don't I?
A little bit. Are you paying your power bill over there? Viaje looks a little dark in there.
My office here has ambient lighting. I try to set the mood here. It's very sexy, but it's not so good for, I guess, a chat like this. I don't know. I don't know what I can do here. How about
That's a little better. You got one pole lamp in there.
How about if I just sit like this?
I like it. So, dude, what's been going on, man? Before we get into the throwdown, which is why everyone's here to learn a little bit more about, I know that you've been, and we'll get more in the project here in a second, but want to talk about I have a few questions from the audience, and I figured we'd kind of knock them out and get them out of the way. You've had a couple of releases so far this year. You've had the jalapenos and a few other things, and people are clamoring, since we have you on the show, what can we expect from you at IPCPR? I know, is there another collaboration? What else is coming from you in the near future? People want to know.
I would like you and all your viewers to know I have not said a single word about my plans for IPCPR, other than, of course, what you can expect every year with Satori. Although this year Satori is being made at Tabsa, a new factory for Satori. Same blend, just a new factory. But I have not made any mention as to what else I will be doing. So I thought I would just show a little bit of what I'm doing here tonight.
Deal.
This is just one of the things we're doing. I'm not going to go too far into it. I'll just tease the audience a little bit.
Ooh.
Wow. Look at that.
That thing's huge.
Jeez. Was there like a 15-layer cake in that thing?
Here, just how people put a quarter up to show comparison. Here's a cell phone.
Dang. I think that's Walt Disney's head.
Walt Disney's head wrapped in.
I'm very excited about it. There's going to be a lot more than just this, but I'll just leave it at that. You can expect something along these lines. What's inside, I think I'll leave as a surprise. Yeah, maybe. But expect something very, very exciting. It's probably my most ambitious project yet. It's taken a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of sweat to put together, but it has actually come together, which I'm very happy about, down to the wire, of course, like everything else in this industry. But it's coming, and I'm very excited, and so come July, I'll have something very, very special for everyone at the new booth. We have a new booth this year as well. PDR and myself are sharing a booth, so we have a,
Really?
I don't know,
Okay.
like a 40 by 70 foot monstrosity that we're putting up. So I'll see everyone there. I'll have it there, and I guess it'll just be a first come, first serve type thing.
That's pretty cool, Andre, because normally your booth sort of looks like a miniature Apple store. You know, it's just like all white and just, yeah.
It is, and it's about 5 feet deep.
This is going to be much more comfortable. I know people are walking around all day. We're going to have beautiful couches. It's just going to be a destination. We may even bring some liquor with us, some rum to enjoy, and so it'll just be a fantastic place where people can just come by and just relax and hang out, and we can sit. Because for me, it's really the only opportunity I have to see such a big group of people in one place, because I don't get out as often as I'd like, and so that's my opportunity to see everybody. So we'll have a really, really comfortable space, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys and everyone else.
I may stop by and take a nap there. You know, it sounds like.
There's a fee, of course, for naps, and we charge by the minute.
Charge by the hour. Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Hey, you know, if you need to make some money for your power bill around there at Viaje Cigars, that's what you do. You charge them for naps.
No, I got to pay for that fucking booth. That booth is crazy expensive. You have no idea.
Oh, dude, I know how expensive the booths are. I mean, I know that you've recently, on an unrelated question, but, I mean, it's interesting that you're going with PDR. I mean, I know you're starting to do a little bit more production-wise there. Was it a thing to go with PDR, just the showing that you're going to be making more cigars there, or was it just out of convenience where you can double up and save a little bit of money? Like, what was the reason for going in at the booth?
Twofold. One, we're doing our collaboration together.
Okay, makes sense.
So we'll be showing the cigar we'll be showing the cigar. It's coming out in September, but I'll be showing it there. So who better than have a booth with the person you're collaborating with?
Touché.
That's one. Two, Abe is just a phenomenal human being, and you know, we get along so well, and I just can't imagine. I mean, if I'm going to share a booth with anybody, it's with this dude. So, I mean, so it's both. It's not only that we're doing this collaboration together, and we'll be showing it at the show, and we need to be together for it, but also just because I love the guy, and you know, this may be the start of every year. Maybe we do the booth together. I don't know. We've got good synergy, so. You know, if things are clicking and working, you try to keep it together. So who knows? Maybe we'll do it every single year. And together, the booth is just—it's so beautiful that you know, I don't know, why not?
Yeah, why not? Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is before we get into the Throwdown, I gotta ask this question because someone has asked it. From Jose, one of our Cigar Federation members, has asked. Random question: if you were in a bar brawl / fight, who would you want to fight alongside you, Logan or Eric?
I mean, I you know, no offense, but I think the Cigar Dojo. I think that's who I need in my corner, right?
I don't know. Logan's got some weight. I mean, he's a heavyweight.
You've seen me, dog. I could knock shit over. Like I'll bust people up.
I think I need some karate on my side.
If bullets start flying, my body can actually shield you, Andre. He cannot. He's skinny. He's like smaller than you. So you'll get hit.
It's the little guys.
Unless you're stopping the blow with your teeth like Bruce Lee or whatever, then it's over.
You have a very valid point, but you know, I just, you know, it's kind of obvious. I think people would agree.
Burn. Okay. Well, I'll remember that come Christmas time. So, Sensei, let me ask you, because I know this is a question from Bob Dog, and I think a lot of people are wanting to know, you know, how did the idea of the Throwdown project between, you know, Cigar Federation and Cigar Dojo kind of form? I mean, how did we get started? Tell them the story about how it happened.
Great question. Real quick, during the show, just so everybody knows, our dojo community, we're having a contest this week to win some Throwdown, and you can be the first to get a bundle. We're giving away a bundle, #Throwdown. If you post that on the dojo or Twitter or Facebook or whatever.
Is this the cigar you guys are talking about?
That's it right here. And so if you And there's
So
also
good.
some runner-up prizes. But guess what, Logan?
What
We're
is that,
adding-
Eric?
We're adding another prize. The best entry tonight during the show, we're going to add another runner-up prize, which is 2 Fed Head sticks, 2 Dojo Nation sticks, and Dojo T-shirts. So post your Throwdown pics on Twitter or Dojo or wherever. We'll find them. And the best one tonight during the show will win another one of that. And that's going to be the first one. I'm literally going to mail that out tomorrow morning, so you'll be the first person to smoke this thing besides us guys on the show. So do that right now if you can. But the idea of the thing, the project, the Throwdown, it started sort of like this. And Logan, you correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but you came to me and said, hey, we should do some sort of collaboration. We had some crazy ideas. We had a Valentine's Day idea that was kind of funny.
I thought that one was legit, though.
It was legit. It was hilarious.
Andre's never done a Valentine's Day release. He's done St. Patrick's, he's done Thanksgiving, he's done Christmas. Dude, a Valentine's Day, 2 communities coming together, hugging it out. It had legs. It had legs.
Yeah. And we were gonna have like bands on it that had like those like little teeny, like Valentine's Day candies that say, be mine. Who's your Valentine? Is it the Dojo cigar or is it the Fed Head cigar?
Needless
that
to
was
say,
hilarious.
Andre didn't like that one.
Yeah. So we had a lot of ideas, and we threw most of them out. So, but when you came to me, we brainstormed on the phone for a long, long time, and then eventually the two of us together came up with this idea of sort of a throwdown battle, like a battle between the communities, even though it's a friendly battle.
I think I said battle royale, and then you were like, no, and then you said throwdown, and I was like, okay. Yeah.
And so we both loved that idea, and you then took it to Andre and did all the back end leg work. We got some samples from them, and they were delicious. You picked yours, I picked mine, and then the Dojo staff did all the branding and marketing and packaging, and you handled all the hard stuff, which is getting these cigars prepared, and then obviously Andre made the cigars, and him and his team, and then it's going to be for sale exclusively tomorrow at noon Eastern. So that's kind of how it went. Is that the way you remember it?
You pretty much nailed it. I mean, other than you forgot how I got corrected by Andre because I kept saying Maso instead of Maso. You forgot that detail. And I mean, seriously, when you said that, I was so confused because I've never heard it. Let's just do a quick knowledge drop. I always say 10 count Mazo, M-A-Z-O, but apparently that is not correct. It's 10 count Maso, correct?
And Andre was quick to straighten you out.
He did, and I needed it. But no, I mean, that's exactly how it happened. I mean, we've done a couple of community cigars, but we've never done anything collaboration-wise with another community. I mean, obviously there's no one else we'd rather do it with than with Cigar Dojo. Because Eric's obviously cool, but what I think I love about the dojo is people are just like Sig Fed, are very friendly and very open, and I think it would be really cool just to see kind of how it all shakes out. So
there's a lot of crossover in our communities,
there
and
is.
I got to tell you, and I'm not going to name names, but I recently have had some dealings with some other cigar communities, and they're not always welcoming and friendly, and we strive real hard on the dojo to be like positive, celebrate cigars, and so do you guys. So we couldn't be more thrilled to be doing it with you, Logan.
I agree, absolutely. And we couldn't have chose a better partner than Andre, because he really pulled it all together and dealt with all of our crazy ideas. And
yeah.
Well, I'll just say something from a Viaje standpoint. I love the idea, and I never shared this with you guys, so I'll do it now. I was actually in the midst of doing a project like this with another manufacturer, a battle.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and so but this is going back about a year ago. Unfortunately, it's very hard sometimes to connect and get things done, and so I kind of tabled it. And so when you came to me, I thought, wow, this is right in my wheelhouse, because this is something that I was planning on doing myself, and so the idea was perfect for it. And I was a little bit skeptical. There are a lot of ideas. People have a lot of ideas for things, and they don't execute them very well most of the time. And I was very pleased to see the artwork, the follow-through, The banding, just everything that you guys did was top notch and fantastic. I mean, look, the sticker is just great. I mean, I don't know who these two gentlemen are, but they look like they're about to go to fisticuffs, and I couldn't be happier with it. So, it's one thing to propose an idea, but it's another to actually go through with it and execute it. And I want to say that all the deadlines were met, and everything you said that was going to happen happened, and that makes me very, very happy. So, from beginning to end, it was first class, and I hope you guys are. I'm very pleased with how the whole thing turned out.
Well, no, we don't put out crap, so we're excited about it too. Hey, Andre, I have a question for you. When Logan and I came to you with this idea, and we said, okay, send us some samples, and then we'll pick from those samples. What do you do in that process to decide what you're going to send to us? Because there's probably a wide array of things that you can send to us. What's the process of saying, okay, these are the ones that I want to send to these guys for this particular project? What thought process and what's the process that goes into all of that before we even choose the cigars we like?
Well, first off, when the idea came, I was like, okay, because you have to understand, I hear ideas every single day of my life from people, from fans that are out there with crazy ideas to retailers. I mean, I get this week in and week out. And then of course, and you see them sporadically as one-offs through, a one-off for a retailer or a white label project. Someone has, maybe suggests an idea and I'll go through with it. But it doesn't happen all too often. So when I first heard the idea, I was like, all right, well, here's just another one of those ideas coming down the pike, whatever. And then there was follow-through, and I saw that you guys were serious. And so after some deliberation, I decided, these guys are – first off, we had a great relationship. We kicked it off, and I think, Logan, we talked a little bit about doing something together, and so we had that already behind us. And so I thought, all right, well, these guys are serious. They have good distribution. Let's see, if they really want to do this thing. So that kind of started our journey, or Viaje, if you will. And then when it came to doing the blends, these are blends too. I think I gave you guys a few blends to choose from. A couple of them were blends that I had been fooling around with that could have possibly ended, because I'm blending all the time. So that out of just to throw numbers out there, let's just say you do 20 different blends and you're tweaking them. Not all 20 are going to get through. Very few, 1, 2, if that, will actually make it. Just to throw out random numbers. So I had a couple that I had been fooling around with for a Viaje project. So I thought, all right, well, those could be eligible. And then I did a third one after I knew you guys were actually serious about pursuing this. How did I do it? These things. How does one write a hit song? They come to you when you're sleeping. They come to you when you're feeling inspired by a billboard you see. They come to you when you're eating some sort of food that translates some way. I mean, I get asked that question a lot, and they just, for me, I can't speak for anyone else. For me, inspiration comes in so many different ways, and so two I had been toying around with, and I kind of finalized them for this project, and then the third I just came up with. I blended it and let you guys have your pick, and I think you guys chose well. The two that you chose were amongst my favorite of the three. I'm not just saying that because we're here talking together. Those were actually my two favorite. That's the I guess that's the long of it.
You know what's interesting, and Logan can speak to this as well, but when you sent us the blends, we didn't go back to you and say none of these are good. Both of us instantly knew
which one
the blend that we wanted, and Logan let me pick first.
I did. I was a gentleman. Just so when we're voting, people, just keep that in mind. That Logan Lawler's a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you.
He did. He let me pick first, and I instantly knew the one that we wanted, and we love it. And then when Logan picked his, it was interesting because he said, "Well, I know the one I want," and it was sort of like it was like rock paper scissors. Okay, like you say it first. No, you say it first. And it was interesting because we didn't have to battle it out. We each picked a different blend of the three, and so it worked out perfectly. And the cool thing is they're both very different.
Very different.
I'm just gonna say it right now. Logan's the Fed Head pick is like a milk chocolate with a little bit of like your grandma's spice cabinet, finish on it, which is really, really tasty. And then ours is sort of like imagine a really good a bourbon that has a little sweetness to it. It has a whiskey sweetness to it. And so that like grabbed me right away because I'm a big bourbon guy, man. My life is all about cigars and bourbon. So when I tasted the one that we picked, yeah, it was just awesome. So.
And I didn't pick that one because I don't drink. So
yeah.
There you go.
But
I'm
you
super,
made
I'm super into bourbon as well.
Yeah.
So
anyways,
now,
the 3 blends were fantastic, but these are the 2 best for sure.
So I got a question for both Andre and Sensei. You know, what was the best part about doing this collaboration together? I think we might have already talked about it.
Andre go first.
Well, of course, for me, it's doing the blend, but I was just so, how do I say, what's the right word? When I saw this sticker, I was really, really pleased. I thought that I guess, aside from blending it, that was probably the greatest point in this process for me, because I think that this thing just came out so well. It's so well balanced. It's so, because I don't know if you know this about me. I'm very, very into packaging. And it's a strong suit of mine, and I pay close attention to it, and I put a lot of effort into it. And so when I saw this is on the lines of something that I would do myself, and so I was so happy to see the packaging for this. So aside from the blending, I mean, that was probably my favorite part when this thing came in. I saw what the finished package was going to look like, because honestly, I didn't know what you guys were going to come up with, and I didn't know if I was going to have to reject things or have to change. And I don't think I said one word. I think that we did a couple changes, but 95% of it was
cool.
This was the original thing that I saw, and I was just super happy with it. So that was great. I was happy to see it, and it was a relief that I didn't have to go in and now, switch everything around. It was organic and meant to be.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of the project was getting to work with Viaje, which is an honor. I mean, it's a true honor. I've always been a fan, and the fact that Logan was generous enough to just say, "Hey, Dojo, you guys run with the idea of the branding of it, and I'll handle the back end stuff." And Logan was just generous enough to just say, "Hey, that's your aspect, and that's what we like to do. We're graphics guys." And Jordan was the guy who actually came up with the sticker, and and I did the logo, and so we collaborated together, and so that was a lot of fun having the freedom to just do whatever we wanted to do with it. And so I thank Logan for that, and I also am just real appreciative to get a chance to work with you, Andre. It was a blast.
Hey, man, I just want to work with good people and surround myself with the best, and I think that what you guys do is fantastic. And so I couldn't be happier.
And there's a reason I don't do the graphics, because if I would have designed it, that'd have been the Throwdown.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Dude, because I could draw myself out of a wet paper sack, man. And the best part for me in the whole thing, other than everything everyone's mentioned, is Viaje's commitment to on-time delivery.
Yeah.
Everything was in the warehouse, on time, and I can't tell you how rare that is in the cigar industry.
No, and thank you for saying that. We really pride ourselves, and that's not just dealing with you guys. That's with our retailers, anyone in this industry. You ask them about Viaje, that's something we pride ourselves on. When we commit to something, we go through with it. And to give you just a little glimpse, when you're dealing with third world countries and importation and customs and all this, it is one of the most difficult things to arrange for. And it is so important to me. I think that when you give someone your word, you have to go through with it. And so thank you for saying that, because that is one of the, if we had, 1 through 10 important things to, if we had like a mantra, that would be one of them for sure. So thank you for saying that. I appreciate it.
No, it's
Hey,
true.
Logan, that's a good point that you just brought up because if you're watching tonight, the cool thing about this is tomorrow is not a pre-order. When you order,
It's shipping.
they'll be shipped. So
Well, let me rephrase. If we sell through all of them tomorrow, not everyone's will be shipped. Let me just caveat that. The rest will be shipped Monday, but they are
right.
in
But
stock,
the point
sitting there, ready to go.
they're there.
Yep.
And they're, yeah, it's not like in 2 weeks they ship. It's
No.
there, and it's just a matter of logistics, shipping that many packages or whatnot. So that is a great nod to Viaje for doing that for us, because a lot of times you do these, and it's just a pre-sale, and a couple weeks later, a month later, you get them. So I'm psyched that tomorrow when we order, we really order, and guys are going to start getting these cigars in their mailboxes, which brings us to the point, Logan, that when you do, and when we sell these out, then you can go to throwdowncigar.com and vote. That's when you get to vote for which blend you thought was the best.
Just remember your loyalties, Cigar Federation members, because I can be a tyrant if you vote against me.
Say just pick, seriously, for scientific purposes alone, pick your favorite. I don't care if you pick Logan's or mine. I really want to see what people think is the best, because they're both good, but they're real different. And I'm curious. I know there's a zillion Maduro lovers out there, so Logan's got a little bit of a built-in advantage. That's true. But we went for the complexity. So you either get just the full flavor of the milk chocolate, or you get the whiskey sweetness. Vote for whatever you think's best. I want to see what happens.
I'd like to know, what does Vegas have this fight at? I mean, what's
the over-under?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'll admit, I'm a little worried, because I'm a worrier by nature, is because I know Dojo has us in terms of raw number of members, but Cigar Federation members are very loyal. I don't know. I mean, I'd call it a 50-50. I mean, it's a throwdown. I think both cigars are good. I think both communities are great. Like, I think it's going to be very interesting, and we've still got to kind of flesh out what the winner is going to get, right? I mean, we've tossed around ideas of, at IPCPR, I hope I'm not breaking any news here, but you're having a throwdown there, or a shindig, and, it might be I have to wear a Dojo shirt if I lose, or he has to wear a Cigar Federation shirt out on the trade floor. Maybe you've got to light up 6 grape, Swisher Philly blunts and smoke them at the same time. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff we could do. So we haven't really nailed it down, but that might even be good in the voting to say, what does the loser have to do? That might even be more interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too, and I'll do whatever we decide. But hey, speaking of shirts, there's a Throwdown shirt you can order.
And that's actually available.
Right. So what's the deal with the shirt, Logan? When you order bundles, you can also order the Throwdown shirt, which is really cool. It has the label, basically, the sticker on it. And when you get your pack, your bundle, you'll get an extra sticker for your travel humidor or whatever. But you can get this gray shirt, which is really cool, which has the branding on it. You'll get that sticker, and the shirt has that on there as well. It's a gray, sort of like what do you call that? Heather-looking shirt. Heather gray, super cool. So tomorrow, hey guys, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be one of those cigars, like the Buckingham, like the Dogma, like the Sarsaparilla, that is epic. And a couple of months from now, 3-4 months from now, you're going to want to still have some of these in your humidor. So I would tell folks, you might consider 2 bundles, 3, maybe, whatever you can afford, but get some and hang on to them. Smoke some.
I think people should also know it's not the same blend with a different wrapper. These are 2 different distinct blends.
Yeah, I have a question here from the Dojo, from Benjamin, and he wants to know, will there be another batch of Throwdown if I'm unable to get in the first 500?
No.
Currently, no. So you gotta. Tomorrow is 10 o'clock Mountain Time. That's for me, but 12 o'clock Eastern. That email is gonna go out. About an hour later, me and Logan will put the link on our various apps, and then an hour after that, we'll put them on our websites and social media. So you got to jump on it quick. This isn't one of those things that's going to last very long. This is our smallest, for the Dojo, this is our smallest limited release we've ever done. So you got to hop on it quick.
Yeah, I mean, I expect them to sell pretty quick. I mean, and you know, I don't know. I'd just be ready. I
Oh,
mean, the timing was done in a way where we think it's going to allow, assuming you eat lunch, you'll get a lunch break tomorrow. Where I think you should be, if you just know on your lunch break to come look, I think you'll be able to find them up. I'm not.
it's so good, man. This is so good. The Dojo Nation stick, awesome. Right now, I'm putting in my
You're plugging it.
uppercut.
You're plugging it.
Uppercut.
Well,
This is the weigh-in. Is this the pre-fight weigh-in right now?
Right. This is when we like start pushing each other around a little bit.
I'm in my boxers, so I could totally take my shirt off and I'd be ready to weigh in. You know what I mean? I'd be like ready. I mean, just ready. 240 pounds of love just coming at you. I mean, if
Oh
need
my
be.
gosh.
Hey, you asked.
That's
man.
horrific.
I know. We're going to change because that just got kind of weird. So this is kind of a question for Charlie, from Charlie Haskell on Cigar Federation. And he asked, and it's kind of a two-part, so I'll answer the first part and then I'll throw it to Andre for the second. But he asked, why did I choose a Mexican San Andreas wrapper, and is it because Logan's partial to it? Did you have other options? And then, so my answer to that part of the question is, well, I mean, Charlie, of course. I mean, the Buckingham had one, but I mean, at the end of the day, I liked all the cigars, but this one kind of spoke to me in terms of flavor and what I look for in a cigar. And, you know, believe it or not, I do kind of think, okay, what are Cigar Federation members going to enjoy? And if you guys look at all the crap you smoke every day, I do. It's mostly San Andreas shit. So, I mean, I'm trying to win here, people. Like, you know, I'm not a pander to my audience. But no, I mean, and that's kind of one of the reasons, and I like this cigar the best. But the second half of the question is for Andre. He said, with so many people using San Andreas wrapper, you know, and it's becoming much more popular and much more common, but much more difficult to procure. You know, how does that, using San Andreas in your blends, is it more difficult to use San Andreas and good San Andreas than it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago?
Is it more difficult to get good San Andreas?
Yeah, for your blends or ones like this collaboration or not?
No, because the family, and I guess, you know, at this point we call ourselves family. My extended family, we have connections with the best, and we have years and years of stock. So no, it's not a problem for us. It may be for some, but when you have the amount of time that myself and the people that I work with have in this industry, no, we get the best, we procure the best, and we use the best, and there's no exception. So no. But I think, as a side note, I think it's interesting is, if I remember correctly, you at first were not interested in using a San Andreas Maduro, and then it stole your heart.
It did, you know, because there's one cigar that you've produced in the last couple of years that if I could have an unlimited supply of and smoke exclusively every day for the rest of my life, from Scout's honor, I would. And it was the Exclusivo leaded, because that cigar, I mean, it's just fucking epic. If you haven't smoked it, please go smoke it. Try to find some if you can, and if you do, let me know, because I want to buy half from you. But I mean, that cigar was just beautiful. And when I thought about this project, I was like, dude, if we could do something like this, and you know, when you kind of present the other option, I mean, I fell in love with the San Andreas, but I mean, I think it's just a testament to what you do, Andre, is that you can span. You're not a coin a phrase, but you know, a one-trick pony, right? You can use different wrappers, you can use different components, and still make something wonderful, regardless of what you're using. But no, you're right. I mean, truth be told, dude, if I could smoke the leaded every single day, I would. So, question for you, unrelated. Are we ever going to see the leaded again? And I mean, obviously, it won't be the same cigar because of different changes of tobacco, et cetera, et cetera. But will we ever see a leaded again?
Yeah, I listen, and the leaded got such a fantastic response. So right now, it's tentatively slated for a release next year. I don't know exactly which month, but probably in the first half of 2016.
Awesome. That makes me happy.
Yeah, you're not alone. We got fantastic feedback on that stick, and so you'll see that. And Exclusivo as a whole, I mean, now we have regular production, 3 sizes of Exclusivo, and so we're gonna have a bunch of offshoots. We're working on a reserve line. We're working on a Nicaraguan version, made in Nicaragua. These are made in Honduras, and so they'll have a lot of offshoots. And thank God, leaded was one of the ones that got a great response. So yeah, it's looking like first half of 2016 you'll see it come on back.
Very cool. That makes me very, very happy.
Hey, Logan.
I'm here to please, guys. I'm here to please.
Logan, your cigar, I gotta say, in just the 3 or 4 months since we tried them, has developed amazingly. So I can only imagine what that thing is going to be like in a year from now if you hold a few of those back. Even just the 4 months, to me, I don't know what you think, Logan, but that Fedhead stick, that Fedhead Throwdown stick has really developed nicely.
I mean, what did I tell you when I smoked it after I got it right off the truck? I mean, I was like, this thing's coming along fucking amazing. And that's just, I mean, I think San Andreas in general, you know, one of the best cigars, and it's, you know, and I'll say it, was the Illusion Singular 2012 with the San Andreas. I smoked like literally 6 boxes of those over the last, say, year and a half. And there's just something about San Andreas. If you get good San Andreas and you have a good base underneath it, I just think it just does wonders with age. And that's just me personally. But I really think, like the Buckingham and others, that this cigar will be one that, you know, I'm going to coin a Seth Geis reference, is buy one to smoke, because you're going to want to smoke it now, but buy one to throw away and smoke one every couple of months for, you know, the next couple of years, and you'll really get to see the cigar evolve. So,
yeah, no doubt about that. Hey, Andre, I got a question.
Viaje. Buy a box, smoke it, put it away, smoke it in 6 months, and see how it evolves.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to these in a 6 months from now. I got a sort of a question from the dojo. It's Charles G. He says his high school Spanish is a little rusty. Can you tell us what viaje means?
It means journey.
There you go.
When I was thinking of a word or a name for the company, I definitely wanted a word that anyone on the planet could relate to. And the word journey came into my head, and I prayed that there was a good translation to it into Spanish, and there was, and so I immediately trademarked it, and that's how the whole thing. So we're all on our own journey, and that's what the whole thing is about, and so that's where it came from.
Very cool. You know, Andre, a lot of what you do sort of reminds me a bit of the craft beer industry and the small batch bourbon industry. Do you take from that? I mean, the fact that, you know, your company's different. It's a lot of these, you know, real small batch things. And I personally, you know, some guys, you know, they like their regular lines that just come out year in and year out, and they keep getting it. But I like to experiment with new cigars. So I dig what you guys do. Do you guys take it all from that industry, or is this something you just came up with on your own, or how did you come up with the idea of being the cigar company that just comes up with these sort of small batch projects?
Well, it's a good question. Yeah, look, going back to the time my first drink, I've always been interested in the smaller guys, the small craft breweries, the small boutique wineries, you know, the little craft bourbons. Or just all, you know, any spirit that's making small batches meticulously. I've always been drawn to that since I can remember, and not just with spirits, with anything. I was always drawn to that idea, the smaller guy, not just mass producing their product. And so I wanted the same for my company. And you know, we didn't start out that way. We started traditionally. I think that had I started out the way I run my company now, people would never have given me a chance. They'd have been like, who's this crazy guy? So we started out traditionally, and once we gained traction, I then moved into the real vision for my company and got rid of even the regular core lines, turned them into small batch, and so we've been doing it ever since. Recently, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, Exclusivo has become a quote-unquote regular line that you can get year-round only because the demand for it is so overwhelming. I get that question asked, when are we going to get something regular on a daily basis from consumers and retailers? So I had to do something, and so we decided to turn one of our most popular small batch lines, which was Exclusivo, into a regular production cigar. But we're 99% small batch, and yeah, a lot of it is from my fondness of the you said it, beer, spirits, wine, all those three groups. That's what I wanted for myself, and that's what I've been doing. And a lot of it is self-serving. I get it. I maybe have a little ADD, and I get bored, and I don't want the same thing year in, year out because that doesn't excite me. I love to create, and I love to come up with new things. So a lot of it is just for my own fun and amusement, and then I hope that people can understand what it is I'm trying to do and enjoy it. And so far, 8 years later, we're only getting bigger. And so, a big thanks to those out there that have gravitated towards my vision for what I wanted for my company.
Yeah, I mean, that term, boutique cigars gets thrown around a lot, but you guys truly are a boutique cigar company, and I really believe that you sort of set the standard and have sort of created an avenue for other guys to start creating these small projects which are so exciting and different and fun. And I'm just like you, I get bored, and so even though I have my go-to favorites like everybody, but I really appreciate the different stuff that you bring to the market. It's awesome, and I appreciate that very much.
No, of course, and you see that out there now. You see even collaboration when I came out with that a couple of years ago. Now you're seeing all these different people coming together and collaborating, and it's fantastic. So if anything that I do can rub off on others and give them inspiration, that is just a big tip of the hat to me, and I love that. So it's great.
So in the same vein of craft beer, a question from Jose on Cigar Federation. It says, Andre, he knows that you love craft beer. Which craft beer or what beer would you recommend pairing with each of the Throwdown cigars?
Good question.
Because I don't drink, so I don't know. So you two will have to answer.
It's so hard to say. I mean, it's such a personal preference. Some of the beers that people pair cigars with, I would never do in a million years, but some people seem to like it. I don't do real hoppy beers with cigars. I think that the bitterness, it's totally anti what you're smoking. I like sweeter beers, but that's not just with beers. I mean, you can do sweeter wine. I mean, you can do dessert wines are great with cigars. Sweeter beers like stouts and porters are fantastic with cigars. Wines and if you're doing for instance, if you're going to do some scotch, don't do a real peaty scotch. For me, I think that's just terrible with a cigar. Do something sweeter like a Macallan, something that's been aged in a sherry cask that lends sweetness to it. So you want to know? I mean, I didn't think I don't know if it was last time on this show or maybe it was another show. I'm not sure. But I drank Left Hand's Nitro Milk Stout. I mean,
that's a local brewery for me. Yeah.
Go grab one of those and smoke it with these. You're going to love it. It's fantastic. It's like velvet. There's no carbon dioxide. It's nitro, so it's not biting. It's sweet. It's fantastic. It goes so well. So if you want a fantastic beer to go with any cigar, go with that and beers that are similar to that.
I'm going to say, Logan, that if you're going to smoke the Fedhead cigar, get yourself an Oscar Blues 1050. Would go perfect with the Fedhead stick. And if you're going to smoke the Dojo Nation stick, and I assume all of you are, get yourself some bourbon, maybe a single barrel bourbon. Right now I'm having W.L. Weller, which is delicious with this. So my recommendation is 1050 or some other really good stout with the Fedhead stick and some good craft bourbon with the Dojo stick.
Fantastic. Great recommendation.
If anybody wants to pair it with any sort of black tea.
Would you do a rye smoking the cigar?
No. I mean, I've done that and I like it, but with this particular stick, I want something a little sweeter. You could go Knob Creek single barrel. You could do Larceny is really good with this. Booker's would be fantastic with this. Anything with a little sweetness. A weeded bourbon would be fantastic with the Dojo Nation stick, and any stout would be stellar with the Fedhead stick.
I agree with you. See, I find rye to be a little bit more aggressive on the palate. I think you need a real mellow bourbon to go with it. Yeah. So that's the reason why I asked. I completely agree with you.
Or you can just do, water if you're feeling, fancy.
Hey, non-alcoholically, I would say the
Black
Fed head
keys.
stick would go fantastic with coffee. If you can get a Cuban coffee, even better. And non-alcoholic with the Dojo cigar, maybe some type of a sweet tea would be nice. But
You know what else? Believe it or not, a shaken Coke is fantastic too.
A shaken
good
Coke.
advice.
Yeah, you shake it to get rid of some of the CO2, and it then becomes more of a syrup, and that sweetness of it goes very, very well with cigars.
Really? So it's
Wow.
almost like a quasi-flat.
You just do your best to cut some of the CO2 out of it, so it's not so it doesn't bite your tongue, and it's great.
Okay. I'm gonna have to try that.
So Jack in the studio is smoking the Fed head stick right now. Jack, give us a report. What do you think of the Fed head stick?
Dark, creamy,
Dark, creamy.
tall, dark, and handsome.
He says tall, dark, and handsome.
Well, hell, I
That's
mean,
good.
fuck. I mean, what would you expect? Except the tall, the dark. Well, I am pretty dark for an Irish person. And then, yeah, handsome. I don't know, but I do have a sparkling personality. At least so I've been told.
Can we just make quick mention of this massive microphone that you got there? And what is that exactly?
That is the platinum mic at the Dojo Magic Herf submarine that we do all of our shows at. So yeah, that thing is it's worth more than my car.
I'm feeling somewhat inferior.
Dude, my $40 headset cannot match up to that.
I know. Hey.
I have neither. I'm using solely my computer as the sole mic.
So here's
Logan, let's talk about tomorrow.
Let's talk about tomorrow, and then let's talk about your special thing, because I know you have to do your giveaway.
Yeah, we got guys. You got some good entries?
Are you tracking that, guys? Are you on it? You better be.
Yeah.
Minion, are you tracking?
Yeah. We're tracking right now, but before we announce the winner, and we're gonna have winners tomorrow night as well. One winner is gonna get a full bundle, a full 10 count, and then two other guys are gonna get 2 of each sticks and a Dojo shirt. But tonight we're also gonna give another one away right now during the show. But before we get there, so tomorrow works sort of like this. Logan, do you want to go over how this is all going to go down so guys know how to order and whatnot?
Do I need to pull up the plan we put together? Because I can pull it up. Let me make sure I got it here. Let me pull it up because I don't want to misquote. I do not want to misquote here. One second.
I can start it off for you while you're looking.
I got it. And just to preface, all times are Eastern Standard Time, so we're not trying to confuse people. But if you really, really want the cigars, what I would tell you to do is go to throwdowncigar.com, and there's a little box there where you can sign up for the email, the early access to the emails. That email is going to come out around noon Eastern Standard Time. An hour is going to pass, and then Eric and I will both send out emails /@blast to our respective communities, letting them know. At 2 o'clock, we're going to make it kind of front and center on our sites for anyone, and make it front and center in the store. And then from there, it's just going to be kind of a free-for-all. So there's a good 3 to 4 hours in there where if you really want it, you should not miss this. Just go to throwdowncigar.com, enter your email. That'll be the easiest way to do it, or have your phone next to you so you can get the @blaster email and just quickly buy it. It'll take about 3 seconds so you don't kick yourself in the ass later.
And, when we've done these before, people sign up for the early email, and sometimes they freak out because they don't get the early email. So make sure that you've verified your email through the system there, and that B, it didn't go into junk mail. But if you don't get the email, that means you probably didn't sign up, and you're just going to have to wait that hour patiently until we blast it out. But that's just the way it works. We've done it other ways before, but we usually crashed our app because people keep hitting refresh like 50 billion times. So that's the only way we can do it, folks. So make sure you sign up for that, and make sure that check your junk mail folder if you don't see it, right around 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. I mean 12 o'clock Eastern time. Sorry.
Yeah, 12
10
o'clock.
Mountain.
So
Mountain time. But yeah, 10 o'clock my time. 12 o'clock. It'll be noon Eastern time.
correct. So I mean, we expect them to go pretty quick. So I mean, are you going to need to buy it within 1 minute? Maybe, hopefully, but I'm assuming you'll probably have an hour or two to do it. So just make sure if you really want to, go ahead and do it. I mean, I know there's a few places that have already reached out to me, so don't bother emailing me saying, hey, can you save me a bundle or can you do this? No. You know why?
Hey,
'Cause that's
guys.
a logistical nightmare.
Andre and Logan, we have a winner.
We do have a winner.
We have a winner. This was picked by the Dojo staff here in the audience. This is the winner. That was posted during the show. That was the rule. Now remember, the contest still goes on, so you guys still have a chance. But the winner is Wheels, and he posted this entry. It's got a couple boxing gloves there, with
That's a
each
good one.
with a couple cigars in there and some beer
And
that
he's
we
even got
talked
the eagle
about.
at the bottom. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go.
Well
Congratulations,
played.
Wheels. Make sure to email your shipping address to jordan@cigardojo.com, and I'm going to personally run it out to the post office first thing in the morning, so that'll be the first Throwdowns mailed. I don't know if they'll get to you the first, but they will be the first Throwdowns mailed to anybody. Congratulations, Wheels.
Congrats, Wheels.
There we go.
And you're not
All right.
allowed to vote because you're a biased vote.
No,
Biased.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
So do you have any more questions from the dojo? Because I've got a couple that we could potentially end on, or I definitely want, if there's any other dojo questions, I don't want to monopolize.
Go for it.
So one question is that, Andre, where can, this is from Shooter, Scott Wilson, is where can he get that sweet Viaje hat you're wearing?
That's a good question. We don't do a whole lot of swag. You can ask it doesn't have to be your local, but ask your favorite B&M if they have any. If they don't, they can contact us. If they're an authorized Viaje retailer, they can contact us and order them, and we'll send them out. That's probably the best way. They go pretty quick, and so I don't know if the first round it's probably already sold out. So if you haven't gotten one, yeah, just contact your favorite Viaje authorized retailer, have them contact us, and we'll get some out to you. Pretty easy.
So this question is for
Hey,
Andre.
Andre, I have a quick question, Logan. I'll throw it out there.
No, go ahead.
From the dojo. Can you tell us anything about these two blends, Andre? Can you give us any insight into these two blends? That's
Sure.
From Nikki.
Yeah, they're both all Nicaraguan. We call them puros. Of course, we use Aganorsa leaf. Aganorsa is it's a very large company. They do very many things. One of the things they do so incredibly well is tobacco. I think that they are in the top 3 largest landholders in the country. And so if you can imagine how much tobacco they grow, and what makes Viaje so special is we get to choose from the top 2% of anything that's grown. And we're talking a lot of tobacco. Some of these farms, when you go out there, and for those of you that can attest to this, the farms are so large that if you're standing on one end, you can't even see.
No.
The horizon is just leaves. That's how big. I mean, so it's a tremendous amount of tobacco. They are the best at what they do, and I get kind of my pick of the crop. I did a cigar, pick of the litter. So a cigar we did last year called Cash was kind of a tribute to these 2 rooms that I'm allowed into that hold the most prized tobacco that I get to choose from. So it's all Aganorsa leaf, all from Nicaragua. And again, the wrapper was the Maduro that you guys were talking about, San Andreas, and the other is a very, very special Criollo 98. All the tobacco is Criollo and Corojo. Aganorsa specializes in those 2 varietals. It's just about mixing the different farms, the different lots, the different primings that contribute to the different blends, if that makes sense.
Excellent.
Makes perfect sense. So
I can go on and on because I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to this stuff. I can go on and on about this, but I try to be succinct because I realize I could bore people with droning. So that is the short of it.
well, let me ask you, in that case, what's your favorite priming as a general rule and why?
Well, if you smoke Viaje cigars, you know that we err on the side of strength, and so I like to work with tobacco that's on the the top portion of the plant, because you not only do you get the strength, but you get tremendous flavor that comes along with it. So, Novizo, Ligero, that's typically where I like to pull from, but if you just use tobacco from that part of the plant, you're going to have a powerhouse.
That doesn't burn.
Well, so you gotta be able to blend with others, but that's where my comfort zone is towards the top of the plant.
Okay.
So what's amazing, just like wine, you can have the same varietal planted in one farm, and just a few clicks plant that same seed somewhere else, and you'll come up with completely different tastes. It's really, really fascinating. So much of it has to do with, to use a word in the wine industry, the terroir. So much of it has to do with the ground and how the sun hits it, and I mean, it's just the combinations you can come up with are endless. And so when we talk about blending in a lab, I mean, it really is. We put on our white coats and we go to work because the combinations you can come up with are endless.
Were you in the military? You just said click. Were you in the military? Just out of curiosity.
No, but I watch a lot of movies.
Okay, I was just curious because I don't even know how far is a click. Is it a mile?
I don't even know.
I mean, I don't know. I've always wondered.
No.
I guess I could
don't even know.
It's
a cool sounding word though, so why not?
It is it's a cool sounding word. Well, I think here's kind of the last question, and I'll throw it to you, Andre. Is that what would you, as an impartial judge to this, not rating the blends, but what would you say would be an idea that the loser would have to do or the winner would get? What would be something you would do? Smoke 6 grape swishers, have to run around in a tube top at IPCPR, what would you say? What would be funny? What if you were choosing and you had to pick something, what would it be?
Well, if we're talking about a prize, are we talking about a prize or just something degrading the loser has to do? Like something the victor gets?
Or both. I mean, I think there's also got to be the carrot and the stick, right?
Sure, and you know what? The first one, I think the victor, and we can leave this up to the fans and see what they think, and it was an idea that I had. I think the victor should have a very special size made with that victor's blend. And again, we can leave this up to your following to see if they think that's a good idea. The winner gets a special limited release of their blend in a special size. The loser, which this isn't a terrible thing, but I think and probably something you guys would do anyway. But I think that the loser represents the winner's garb. So, just trade shirts basically. So the loser has to go around. I know this isn't too fraternity. I mean, I guess we could come up with some sort of hazing.
I mean, I was in a fraternity. I could get my paddles out, and I used to whip some people's ass.
Yeah, so I guess that could be fun too. But I think why not? Why not show the colors of the opponent? As difficult as that may be for one's ego, but show the true colors of the opponent. And have to parade around in some sort of shirt that says "I lost to" or something like that.
I'll send out my shirt tomorrow, Logan, to you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make mine like 6 sizes too big, so it looks like a 90, and you can send yours like two sizes too small, so it's like showing off these awesome pectorals. That would be the way to do it. So, well, very cool. Well, Andre, we really appreciate the time. I mean, just to reiterate, if you're interested in the cigar, noon Eastern, sign up, throwdowncigar.com, or an hour later, check either Cigar Dojo or Cigar Federation. Look on your phones. We'll be doing App Blast. just keep your phone close. The cigars will go quick. But Sensei, Andre, really appreciate you guys coming on, doing the project. We're really excited. Really excited to see what kind of happens tomorrow. And that's it. I mean, we're just super excited and honored that you guys would work with Cigar Federation and put out, just such a stellar product that we all can enjoy and share with our respective communities. So,
well said, Logan. Thank you.
Go ahead.
I just want to say well said, and thank you both for the opportunity. It's going to be awesome.
And I will say it a third time. Thank you. It's been a fantastic, thus far, it's been a fantastic collaboration between all of us, and I look forward to seeing the shenanigans that go on tomorrow.
Exactly. So, everyone, noon Eastern, get on the email list or check your phone or your respective community, Cigar Federation, Cigar Dojo, and we'll be rocking it. So, with that, everyone have a great night. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to the mayhem tomorrow. Everyone have a great night.
Ciao.